I think their history is they're a quick team that moves off the puck well. They love that give and go hockey. And if you stand around and watch, they can make you pay. And that's one of the challenges that we'll have tonight with their hockey club. They're a skilled group that can move the puck effectively. They can skate off the puck. And we have to be prepared for a gritty Detroit hockey club.
They're one of those teams that define team tough?
Yeah, I think that their mandate is always that they want the five guys, the pack mentality, the power play is probably one element that they look to, and their skill has to be their tough guy as per se.
What's your instruction to Jake, and what do you expect from him?
I expect him to play to a higher level and move the puck more effectively, stronger defensively, take the body when it presents itself. There's always so much made about what has to be done that it just has to be a hockey player, an effective hockey player. And that's all I ask of any of the players, but you guys don't seem to get that.
Is this Detroit team, let's say, of a couple of years ago, Randy? The type of team you're trying to get your Leafs to become?
Well, I think there's obviously there's some aspects of their hockey club that any team would like to be able to copy. This is a copycat league. When teams have success and organizations have success, you look to what other people are doing, and then you try to reference, can you make that fit with your group? And we're a team that obviously hasn't had the required result for the last while, and we're trying to change the makeup of our group. We're trying to change the way we are presenting our lineup with, as we talked about from the beginning of the year, nine forwards in their top groupings versus the original would have been 6 top forwards, a checking line, and an energy line or a tough line or whatever. And there are still teams that are have that model, but with our lineup, we've decided to go in a little bit different direction.
Does Holland need to play more to play better, or play better to play more?
Holland has to continue to develop and show us what he's got. There's always these pointed questions on individuals that I think he has to find a place that he's comfortable in our lineup and that we're comfortable with his contribution.
Is it fair to say that, based on what your Gardner answer was, that he wasn't playing well enough offensively and moving the puck that would allow you to say overlook some of the deficiencies that he still hasn't?
I just don't think that, when we're talking about individuals, I don't think that you can classify this one thing, this other thing. There's a lot of finger pointing takes place here for whatever reason, from a standpoint that you're doing one thing wrong, you're doing this thing wrong. I look at it as general play. I look at the contribution players are making to your lineup, be it Jake Gardner, be it Peter Holland, be it Phil Kessel, be it Dion Phaneuf. It's got to be all inclusive. You just can't look and say that he's got to do this one thing better or that one thing better. To play in the National Hockey League, you have to demonstrate a skill set that allows you to be comfortable to accomplish a lot of things out there and a lot of different things in different situations.
Lupo looks like he's ready and able to go tonight. When just given his tough injury history here in Toronto, whenever you get word that he's either tightening up or he's a little bit sore, do you sort of hold your breath and hope that it's nothing major at this point?
Yeah, again, with players that that have been making a contribution, we think Loop's been playing very strong for our group. It's always a question mark when any player gets a bump or a bruise. I don't really look at it as the history. I think the way to look at it is if he's going to be available, are we making the right decision by holding him out of the practice so that he becomes available to you tomorrow? And those are the things that run through your mind. I don't think any coach looks at the history of injuries. I think that's something that's after the fact. On a day-to-day basis, you want the best lineup and the most healthiest lineup you can ice.
Randy, I know it's early days, but given that Dion and Cody played together on the power play for a long time, you think that can translate to 5-on-5? for them now?
Well, that's where they are today, and that's what we decided with, we made the change the other night, and we think that they should be able to play together, but again, we're trying things with Dion from a standpoint. He's playing on the left side this year versus the right side, trying to find the right fit for not only Dion and Franny, but for our other players in our lineup. We think that you have to build a back end that has the sum of the parts has to be stronger than what your other combinations have given you.
And is it tougher for Robida to come back from the injury than maybe anticipated?
Yeah, I think, again, if you look back on what happened with Robida, with the injury, that was a long time ago, but I think the most critical part was not the injury so much as he was held out of training camp. And then the players are going to tell you that, they hate training camp. Coaches hate training camp too, because, it's long days and it's lots of exhibition games, but it really lays the foundation for the player to build as far as a building block. They don't like the practices, they don't like playing the games, the back-to-backs, the skates that take place in it, but in the long haul, it seems that players that don't have the opportunity to participate in training camp have lulls through the course of the season, and we saw that. And Cody Franson would be a guy that would tell you that was what he felt was part responsible for the way he had, performed. He wasn't happy with his performance last year, and he missed all of training camp. And those are things that are difficult to judge, and they're tough ones.
Randy, I read that your organization is using more analytics moving forward. How are you
Have you?
incorporating that?
Jeez, how do you get by anything else in it?
How are you incorporating that with your old?
Well, yeah, I look at the analytics as a tool, and it's not something that's earth-shattering. It's different ways of analyzing the game. And if that tool that they provide you with can help you, you'd be crazy not to use it. And we have used it. And we will continue to use it. And it's not any different than, I would say, that shootout stats have been logged historically. Just this is a lot more in-depth. They're tearing the game apart from a different perspective. They're with a microscope, with a scalpel. And they're utilizing the facts that are becoming available to you. And if they're useful to you and you deem them that you're useful, every team's going to use them. I don't think it's anything earth-shattering. It's just a new way of dissecting the game. And we will use them if we feel that they're credible and they can help us.
More useful than the eye test?
I don't know. I think that there are things that are useful. There's some things that don't apply, and there are variations that do come into play. And there's a lot of factors that go into when you start to dissect and look at what comes back from analytics. You just have to make sure that you're not solely making your decision based upon what that one piece of paper says. There's a lot of other things that factor into it.
I know you're focusing on tonight, but looking forward when you're on the road, what are going to be the biggest challenges?
Well, again, if you want to have success in the NHL, you have to have a road team that can go into any building and feel they're not challenged to play to the top of their game. And that's one of the issues that you'll have, through the course of the season. But we feel we have a hockey club that can go into any building and compete. The challenges are always going to be, you don't have the last change, where you're at in your schedule. Are you playing a back-to-back? Is the team rested? All those things are factors that play into it. But again, we just feel that we try to prepare our group to the top of their ability night in, night out, and it doesn't matter where we play.